Hello everyone, my name is Diane Duclaux. I am a Master of Law student focusing on ways to increase government accountability for the climate crisis. A few months ago, I joined the Generations Together group. Today, I have the pleasure to interview Claire O'Kane, one of the Generation Together coordinators. So, first question, what is Generations Together about and what is its aim?
Generations Together is an informal group of international child rights and protection professionals, as well as youth who come together for monthly reflection action meetings to increase efforts by adult duty bearers to take children and young people's call for action on the climate crisis seriously. Our group efforts are informed by a human rights and child rights approach, including human rights to live in a clean, healthy, and sustainable environment.
And just to go a little further, why do you think it's important to listen to and act upon the views of children and young people who are asking governments to take more actions to address the climate crisis?
We think it's really critical to listen to and act on calls for climate action and climate justice by the younger generation. Scientific evidence clearly demonstrates that the climate crisis is causing significant harm to our living planet. And if governments do not take bold, systematic action now, the harm caused by climate change will be irreversible and devastating for countless species. The changing temperatures and climate-induced disasters are resulting in changes in biodiversity, loss of species, human death, injuries, disease, hunger, and acute malnutrition, especially among children. Despite contributing the least to the climate crisis, children are disproportionately affected. So we really think that all governments must take bold action, and governments from industrial countries that have contributed more to the climate crisis should shoulder their responsibilities to increase climate finance to the global south.
Well, that is not a great picture you're picturing, but moreover, do you think the states are doing enough to address the climate crisis?
No, this is really why our Generations Together initiatives focus on different ways to really try to increase government accountability for climate action. So, Generations Together is a kind of voluntary group. People come together, as we said, from different backgrounds. But in recent years, we've organized various action initiatives. In 2021, we organised a webinar for adults to learn from child and youth activists. Child and youth activists from different climate justice and child right movements, including a working children's movement, came together in a virtual webinar to share their experiences and their insights on how adults can be better allies, to listen to them, to act on their views, and to engage them in climate policy and practices and other decisions concerning them. Then in 2022, we organised a campaign and an online declaration called Climate Destruction is Child Abuse. The World Health Organization defines child maltreatment to include all types of physical and emotional ill treatment, sexual abuse, neglect, including negligence and commercial or other exploitation, which results in actual or potential harm to the child's health, survival, development, or dignity in the context of a relationship of responsibility, trust, or power. And we really see this links to kind of government inaction on the climate crisis. Despite public knowledge of the harms caused by fossil fuel industries, governments and corporations continue to facilitate ongoing fossil fuel production, and their actions are clearly harming the health, survival, and development, both of current generations of children and future generations. Thus, in the lead up to the COP27, we gathered individual and organizational support for a declaration that outlines how and why government inaction to address the climate crisis and their ongoing action supporting fossil fuel industries is a form of child abuse for which they should be held accountable. Building upon these efforts, this year some of our members have written an article describing and analysing the use of youth-led litigation as a strategy for holding governments accountable for such violence against children and the inadequate efforts to address the climate crisis. And the article illustrates different kinds of litigation taken against governments by young people themselves. And again, it shares young people's perspectives within the article. So these are some of the initiatives. We hope if anyone wants to know more or join us in our efforts, you can get in touch with us on email climatechangeschildabuse@gmail.com.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks. Great again. Let's continue our Generations Together efforts.